Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money with your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 234 of Screw the Commute podcast. We got a repeat guest. You know, I very seldom have repeat guests, but this guy can do a lot for you. So I wanted to have him back on. It's been quite a while. It's been 130 episodes since he's been on. So I wanted to bring him back because he has a very, very important service that every business person should know about. So we'll bring Mitch Davis on in a minute. Hope you didn't miss episode 233. Boris Pfeiffer. He's a cancer survivor who quit the corporate life after traveling the world with high-paying jobs. He had the most miles on 2 different airlines that has anybody ever had. So, however, you know, that sounds cool. He attributes part of that travel to giving him cancer. So he is a cancer survivor, but he decided it wasn't worth it, so he started a lifestyle business, just like we promote here, called Riddle.com, which is a lead generation quizzes and personality tests, which I use, and I'm going to tell you about just in a moment, where you can go take one of the quizzes. So make sure you get a copy of our automation ebook. It's at screwthecommute.com/automate free. It's all the automation tips and tricks I use to run this big business with a skeleton staff, and it used to be just me years ago, but I still use these same techniques, so check them out. That's screwthecommute.com/automate free, and we sell that book for $27, but it's yours free for listening in. Now, let's see. Oh, while you're over there at screwthecommute.com, go to screwthecommute.com/app, that's APP, and get a copy of our podcast app for your cell phone or tablet, and we have complete instructions on how to use all the fancy features. So you have screen captures, and you can use all or as little of the features as you want and take us with you on the road. And of course, our sponsor is the Internet Marketing Training Center of Virginia. It's a distance learning school which teaches legitimate techniques to make a great living, either working for someone else or starting your own online business or both. And that's at imtcva.org. And you don't have to think about that because everything we do, including links to Mitch's, all his great stuff, will be in the show notes. This is episode 234. So to get to the show notes, you go screwthecommute.com/234. Perfect for Mitch Davis and all the links that I tell you about. Now, if you want to see one of these quizzes I was just telling you about, go to the school website, imtcva.org/quiz, and you can see one of these fantastic quizzes. Didn't take me long to create, and it's already got, 600-700 views in the first few days and brought me in a $9,500 lead. So it's really powerful stuff, and the service is really great. Rivals Stealth Seminar, which, I brag about that guy, Jeff Ronning, and this new service, Riddle, has unbelievable service. Within minutes, they're helping you and talking to you. It's just crazy. So I'm not easily impressed. So anyway, check that out. All right, let's get to the main event. I'm on the line here with Mitch Davis from expertclick.com. It's a website, and he's got news release wire also, blog syndication, and you get news, interviews, exposure, and search engine optimization traction for all kinds of experts and consultants and speakers and other professionals. The Expert Click website's based on his annual Yearbook of Experts. And hey, you got to get on this right now as soon as you hear this, folks. This is the 36th annual 2020 Yearbook, and it's got a January 31st deadline. So you want to definitely check out expertclick.com. And because you're listening to this show, you get a 15% discount by entering my name, Tom Antion, in the special offer box. So, Mitch, are you ready to screw?
Absolutely.
The commute. Yeah. Hey, good to talk to you, man. It's been a while.
Oh yeah, we go way back.
Oh,
you
far?
You had an ad for Prank Masters in like the 6th edition of the Yearbook.
That's true. I for those of you that don't know, I had a custom designed practical joke company, and I got worldwide publicity in part because of Mitch's help. I was in Washington Post, Washington Times, Associated Press, Australian Broadcast Network, Canadian Broadcast Network, Tokyo Today show I did, and hundreds of other things based on publicity. That's the power. That's why I said I wanted to have Mitch back to emphasize with you the power of publicity. So tell them about Expert Click and the Yearbook, and tell them about what you're doing now. And we'll take you back later and see how you came up through the ranks.
Well, gosh, we started out as the talk show guest directory, and it was just talk shows way back in 1984.
Mm-hmm.
And then we grew up to being the Yearbook of experts, authorities, and spokespersons before the internet came around. And we did a lot of fax broadcasting. That's got the talk shows learning us and knowing about us. And then we went to the internet with expertclick.com. Tens of thousands of news releases, expert profiles, a lot of inbound links from all the different profiles back to each member. Each member gets full activity by adding content, adding news releases. We actually have a method to automatically pick up and distribute people's blogs. One of the most powerful things we do. Like every one of your blog posts, every one of your podcasts, Tom, gets picked up, and we've generated tens of thousands of page views for your podcast. And that's why it's so good you put up the whole podcast with text, because that text is what these search engines crawl on.
Right.
So it's just not audio, but it's text. That's what makes your service so powerful.
Yeah, and that's what we call the show notes for those of you interested in podcasting, which you should be, because it's taken over XM radio, and it's a powerful way to get your message out. But by adding the show notes, we have each episode transcribed, and then that's what Mitch picks up automatically. I just sit here and I see your post has been syndicated by Expert Click. Just comes in 3 days a week, every time I do a podcast. And that's really convenient. Well, I don't have to lift a finger.
Our system keeps looking at your website for new content.
Right.
That's how that works. It's a pull technology.
Mm-hmm. And
every time you put up new content, it takes us a little while to find it because we aren't looking all the time, but we look on a regular basis. And that's why you see the pickup a few minutes or an hour after you put something in. We pull it in and push it out.
I get that's what they call an RSS feed. You have an
RSS
mm-hmm.
feed, and we pick it up and
mm-hmm.
we clean it up, and then we distribute it. That's the whole point.
You clean up my language, probably, right?
Right. Well, you got to clean up the RSS. There's a whole syndication thing to make it work and pick up the content correctly. That's one of the things we've learned how to do really cool.
Yeah, and Lakia handles this for me, I think. And so I really can't remember. Are there different levels of service that you have, or is this just all or nothing?
Well, everybody gets the news release wire and the syndication, because that's the key to making the system work.
Mm-hmm.
It's putting your content out on the web to make that work for people. And then there's 3 levels: the signature, the classic, and the premier. And they're based on 2 different things. First is how big your listing is in the printed yearbook. The signature gets 50 words, the classic gets 150 words, and the premier gets a full page. But also on the website, when the results come up, the premier people get shown first, then the classic
mm-hmm.
people, then the signature people. So you get higher results in the system when you're at the level. Also, we have a couple other related services. One is called Radio Tour, which comes with the classic and the premier. Also, we run a speakers bureau called the International Platform Association, which everybody gets a platform speakers bureau profile in the system if you're a classic or you're premier. The bare bones is the signature, but the signature does get you the news releases and the blog syndication, which are the most powerful things we have.
Yeah, and it runs like a top. I just told him about some of my successes. I mean, that's not even all of them, but I mean, it's just a few of them. Tell them about what people have done with this.
Well, what people do with it is, for you can go back and look at your blog posts and see which topics did best.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing people use the system for, is to figure out what's working, what's not working. Also, we pick up and distribute the news releases of talk radio. We got a guy recently did a whole news release on the dangers of artificial intelligence. And he did very well with talk radio. So it's getting that word out there is what it's about. Robert Siciliano is.
Oh, yeah, I know Robert. He's been on here. Yeah.
Yeah, he does identity theft, and he does a lot of outbound links from our system to his websites so that he's building inbound links to his copy and material. So he's very aggressively using the tools of News Release Wire to make the system work.
Yeah, he's a machine. I mean, he's
total machine. And he's in so many different affiliate programs. I can't count how many they are. But he's got all this stuff, and he sends his news releases. He picks up his affiliate links, and he's making money left and right. That's what you got to do with the system. And that's what our winners do, is they drive the links, they drive the technology to get all those inbound links, to get more leads and more customers and more news media.
So what does it take to get set up? Do you have to be a techie to get set up?
No, it's really easy. There's just an online form. You go to Expert Click. You click on the join button at the top. It's going to ask you. We have sort of 3 file folders you have to fill out. The first file folder is who's the participant, who's the release about. That might be you. It might be a client. It might be what you call your firm. That you get the participant name, the URL, the city, the state, so people can find you. And then the subscriber is the person that's in charge of the account. Because sometimes a different person on the firm is in charge of the subscriber. And the third file folder is the media contact, who the media should contact when they see the page. So it's not just Twitter where there's one thing, but we've learned all over years that you have to be 3 different levels so people can see who they are. And we have a number of PR firms that have lots of clients in the system. It's just amazing to me sometimes. Scott Lorenz has like 20 authors in the system, and he has a great PR service helping authors do PR. Scott Lorenz, his website is Book Marketing Expert.
So is that an agency fee for that, a different fee level?
It's a different fee level because you can have a dozen accounts.
Right, exactly, right.
And then we work out a good price, and that's the whole key to the system. Instead of paying $5.95 a year, you're able to have a dozen accounts at $500 a quarter.
Okay, so they basically they fill out that's the basic information. Then what's the next step?
Well, the next step is adding your content. You can send us the link to your blog. We automatically pick up your blog so it goes in. And we have a website because we wanted to make news releases simple. So Expert Click is our main site. But we built a website at newsclick.com because we wanted an entry page where people can send a news release with 7 keystrokes. Cut and paste your headline, cut and paste your text, click pop, see the proof, it goes live.
Wow.
And that really simplifies it because we wanted to make something as simple as Twitter so you could just go in there and put your content in.
Yeah, now one thing about news releases, I mean, not all, like when people see these free news release sites, you know where you're being seen? Nowhere, because they have no connection with anything like Google and Bing and so forth. Tell them about that.
We've been qualified to be picked up by Google News, Bing News, Yahoo News. So we've done the work to have legitimate, clean content that they want for the news release. They want for the news release systems. We also push our content to LexisNexis, which is a big online service which is used by researchers. And we have an expert on child abuse who does Munchausen syndrome, which is the syndrome where a young child will be sort of coached by the lawyers to say there's something because the lawyers sort of get the child to say, oh, yeah, they will say anything just to please the lawyer. And we got a call from that expert saying the New York Times founder at LexisNexis and their search on it. So it's a great tool to be legitimately found by top news media.
Yeah, and I just have to give people a warning. Just because you sign up with Mitch and he's connected, don't put out a crap news release. You still got to be news. All right. So.
I'm known to throw some people out when they just don't have good content.
Yeah, exactly. Because that'll kill your system. That'll kill everybody's system because they'll quit paying attention to your service. So
we ask people to validate they aren't putting in duplicate content. And one of the things we had to catch people on was putting in these purloined images.
That'll get you sued.
People use these bogus images on our website. We had to go back to the people and say, no, You can't use bogus stolen images because that's duplicate content and that hurts you with the search engine optimization.
Well, worse than that is that some companies, their whole business model is to locate those and sue you with a federal lawsuit. Copyright infringement.
We've gotten those letters, and then we send them back the Digital Millennium Copyright Act notice saying, "Hey, it wasn't us; it was XYZ expert."
Yeah,
and I've had to throw some people out over that because they just put in crap.
Well, you did them a favor because I mean the last two that I heard of was $6,300 they settled for and $4,500 for one picture on one blog post.
Oh yeah. And people are making memes out of them, and since they use them commercially, they get dinged.
Yeah,
and they're called the Getty letter because Getty Images is one of the biggest enforcers of that.
No,
so people have to watch out for that. Just be very careful. There's a bunch of websites where you can find free images, but even those images may not be really free because who knows who the original owner is.
Well, here's the thing. I found a place recently called Pexels, Pexels, that is totally clear. So you can give attribution if you want to, but you don't have to. It's unbelievable. In fact, if you go to that quiz of mine, all the images each quiz question has an image that goes with it. And they're all free from Pexels, and their licensing agreement is they don't accept the picture unless it's from an artist, a photographer that took the picture and gave them the rights to distribute it. And they ask you if you want to, you can attribute it, but you don't have to even. It's crazy. But but you can't go to Google Images and trust, they have a thing, okay for commercial use. Well, you can't trust it, but Pexels so far has been perfect and trustworthy.
And there's a lot of sites that will sell you images for $2
exactly.
or $10. And I really like those sites where you pay a small amount because you can go, if somebody comes back to you wanting to ding you for using the image, you can go back to them and say, well, I bought this ad, I'm legitimate here, and I didn't steal it. And if you want to go after the people that sold me the ad, here's their contact information.
Yeah, right. That's true.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, very. But that's just the business of images.
Yeah.
And we all get into that. So I'm very glad you're using good, clean images. Yeah.
Absolutely. Because I don't want to, I've had a federal lawsuit over copyright infringement in the 80s when I had my nightclub and played one song that the ASCAP and BMI was sitting in the crowd and was writing down songs unbeknownst to me. And one song, boom, got me a federal lawsuit. So I'm very attuned to this and teach my students this. Now, there's one thing you said a while back I want to go back to. You said to hook your blog up, you just give them the link to the blog. Do you mean you give them the RSS feed to the blog, or you can extract that yourself?
Many people don't know where the RSS feed is. So we're able to go to a blog and figure out where the RSS feed is from the blog. And 5% of the people that put in a presumed blog listing don't have an RSS feed. You have to go back to them and say, check with your webmaster, let's build that RSS feed. But the RSS feed is so crucial to being found because SEO picks it up too.
Yeah, but almost everybody has it automatically if you're using modern like WordPress
if they have a blog,
if you're and that's what they should be doing now as opposed to articles because they're treated differently by the
they should do
search
articles, but they should make an RSS on their articles.
Well, yeah, I mean they should, but if they don't want to jump through the extra hoops, just make the blog and you'll be done with it. Yeah.
And we set up our system so that on each profile there's also an outbound RSS feed. So your news releases and your blogs go into our system, into your page, and then go into an outbound RSS feed. And we feed that RSS feed through syndication into Twitter.
Yeah.
So
beautiful.
You can look at your RSS. You can connect your Twitter. You can connect your blog up to your Twitter account. And there's so many things you can do with RSS. It's a great tool.
Yeah, it's a little bit of learning curve, but get your geek to jump on it. There is quite a few things. Most non-techies wouldn't fool with it, but it's worthwhile to you to have that stuff done. And if you hear my dog barking, that's my protection dog. Some squirrel ran by the windows. It's not me clearing my throat, really, deep.
Well, you get those great dogs. They're sort of like poodles. What are they, Tom?
No, those are Bichons, but they're in doggy heaven now. but
Okay.
these are German Shepherds here. So we have a protection dog company on the side because I like to make my hobbies tax deductible. So we sell protection dogs too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Now, press releases have changed a lot since 1980, right? I mean, you can put video and audio and everything else in them, right?
We built our press release system so that you can put in plain text,
Mm-hmm.
you can put in HTML, you can put in HTML for opt-in forms.
Wow.
So if you want to do a news release, and we have a footer system, so it'll automatically pick up your opt-in form at the bottom of your blog posts.
Nice.
So if you send one release and pick up that footer with your opt-in form, every time we pick up a blog post, it'll have an opt-in form at the bottom of it. We used to do a framed release system, but the frames don't work anymore because people
Right.
now have secure sites. So we replaced that with a pin system. And the pin system allows you to go to Expert click on Send Pin Release, go put in a URL, make a screenshot of that URL, and then add a headline. And the release goes out with a screenshot of your URL, and that URL is hot, so it clicks right to the page. It's really useful.
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
So when you're picked up by some other media and you want to share a story about yourself, you can pick up and share something. And we have some clients who use it extensively because on their websites, they might have a release which is all formatted in some fancy fashion, and they don't want to try to figure out how to pick up that fancy fashion, put it into our system. But with the HTML send out, you can pick up the same thing you put in your email newsletter, because your email newsletter is HTML, and put the HTML into our system. And you can also pick up your YouTube videos and do a video news release with that system. God, the dogs love you, don't they?
They love the squirrels. Yeah, she's in a crate right in front of the patio door, and there's squirrels out on the pool. So, yeah, and so any of your little geeks can teach anybody out there how to do this. Just it's copy and paste basically. Don't get worried with HTML, because if they just show you where it is in your email newsletter, you just copy it and slam it into Mitch's system, and you don't have to do any coding or anything. You just copy and paste.
Even use the quick send news release, the NewsClick site for that, because there's a button on the NewsClick site that says, do you want to enter text, or click here to enter HTML.
Mm-hmm.
So, once people get the very basics of it done, they can do it very easily.
Yeah, no, I can't remember. Is the yearbook are you still printing it, or is it all online now?
We still make a PDF of the yearbook, and we still make a printed edition for those few journalists who want the printed edition. We send it to them free of charge. We also make the printed yearbook available to Amazon at like $12 a copy.
Oh, I see.
So people can get a copy of the printed book if they want to go through it.
Oh, nice.
But
Yeah.
Tom, there's so much more information on the net these days.
Right, of course, yeah.
Because the book's just going to have your profile or the 50 or 150 words. But on the net, you can have hundreds of news releases. I have people like Robert Siciliano, who's been with me for 15 years, and he probably has, I know he's got more than 1 million page views.
Yeah.
I have a number of people like that, just are very active sending releases, syndicating their blog, getting those page views.
Yeah, it's really powerful. I mean, long before the internet came along, before I met you, I built my whole speaking career on media marketing, I called it, and it was being seen on radio, or yeah, that's a good feat. It was being seen on TV, being on radio, being in print, every medium there was at the time, and built my whole speaking career. And then when the internet came along, I'm thinking, oh my God, you mean I can sell my stuff around the world sitting here at my computer?
Well, you can be a journalist now. You
Exactly.
by having a podcast are a journalist. So you're able to have people find you because you're now part of the information stream.
Yeah,
it's just not Howard Stern with 1 million listeners.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get some press credentials now.
Well, press credentials, they no longer really do press credentials, Tom. Because there's so many people who are experts who distribute their content because they know by distributing their content they have more people come to them.
No, I want to get into concerts free. So,
Well, concerts are a different piece
yeah, I
of work.
know.
You know that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so we last time we talked, we went back a little bit. We'll do an abbreviated version because I'm really into all this new stuff you have on the system now to tell people how to use it. You actually had a job long time ago, right?
Yeah, I worked in college. I waited tables way back, and way back. Boy, that was in the late '70s.
Right?
Boy, was that a different world
Yeah,
in
I know.
Washington D.C. Yeah. I can tell stories about that. Boy, oh boy. But I got my business degree out of Georgetown, and I worked in a gold and silver store. Boy, I learned in business, it's not when you sell something you make money; it's when you buy it.
That's
You
a
know
good point. But wait a
that.
minute. Wait a minute. I thought everybody went to Georgetown was filthy rich. Why would you be waiting tables?
Well, some of us didn't have that great
Oh,
opportunity.
to be filthy
You know,
rich.
you wish you were filthy rich. But
Georgetown. Wow.
well, after I paid off my student loans, it took me 2 years
Like
to pay off.
yesterday.
Yeah, well, no, I paid off my student loans in 2 years.
Oh
I
my
decided
God.
I have to have this done, and then I started having money, and I started this business with $3,000. I'm still amazed I could send out that many postal letters and get my first people to reply and buy their $95 profiles in a book that I sent to 600 talk radio stations. So that I
Wow.
created a network of people buying to be in the system to be distributing it. And that network has kept going. The first advertiser that started in 1984 was with me for 34 years.
Wow.
The guy just passed away.
Oh,
I'm going like, oh
boy,
my
guy's
God.
got nerve. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Tom, I know, I've been around long enough that I've seen lots of members who join us in their 50s and they get great action out of it. Then they retire, but they're still doing it because they still want to be found. They still
Yeah.
have their skin in the game.
Yeah,
So I,
what's interesting is this is the old cliche. This is really gold for people, but you actually sold gold before, didn't
yeah,
you?
well, it was, I learned in the coin store, you made money when people brought things in to sell them to you, and then you could sell them wholesale to somebody else.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that was just a totally different
But
marketplace.
that's where buying, you had you
You had to
made the
be
money on the
careful
buying.
buying. Yeah,
Yeah.
you had to be careful buying to make sure you got something of value. And that's where it's about because a lot of businesses are just sort of that one way,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you got to have that value for people.
So with $3,000, you turned this into how many years now?
30 So the 36th year with the
36
system.
year career, and you're not
And
fighting the DC traffic. You're screwing the commute.
I'm screwing the commute because I went virtual 8 years ago
Mm-hmm.
and I offshored everything.
Right.
So I no longer have those employee created problems.
Mm-hmm.
I no longer have payroll. I no longer have printing. I no longer have postage. And Tom,
And gasoline.
I was putting $500,000 a year into printing, payroll, and postage.
Yeah, I know.
So
Oh,
when I
tell
got
me about
rid,
it. Yeah.
yeah, it's just oh my God, yeah. But that was back when it was the Yellow Pages model.
But
But
even back in
now
those days, I mean, getting around town was as bad, and nowadays it's you want to shoot yourself.
you got to shoot yourself to get in the car to go someplace. Yeah, yeah. And I know you guys are out there listening to this podcast in the car. So you're saying, how can I get out of that
Yeah,
commute?
that's right.
You
Screw the
you get
commute.
out of that commute by creating something where people come to you as part of a network. And so much of this business world these days is no longer just selling one thing, it's selling a subscription, getting the person to buy something that they'll renew again and again and again. And I know when I go out to look for customers, I'm very interested in finding people who will renew,
Right.
who will have an ongoing business like a speaker or a consultant who can get ongoing business from me and it's no they want to renew again and again and again. That's the kind of customer I can really help. The guy who's just the children's book author who wants to have one big splash for a children's book, she's not going to last. She's going to be in our
Hmm.
system for 6 weeks. And
Hey, you're being sexist. What if I wrote a children's book?
Well, same thing with you, Bucko.
You wouldn't want your kid to read it.
You're a children's book from you. Oh my God.
No.
But it's very true. The whole subscription economy. There's a barber shop down the street from me that now has a subscription service. You pay them a regular monthly fee, and you go in there and get your hair cut as often as you want to. I went to this subscription show this year. There's actually a trade show for people who do subscriptions and membership sites.
Yep.
So
Regular recurring income. Yeah.
When people want to start a business, they should really think about how can they do something where the buyer is motivated to come back every year or every month and gets value from you so that you get that recurring income. And I think a lot of people think they're going to start a business and they start selling something and realize, well, why is the guy ever going to buy it the second time? That's a tough thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've made a lot of money over the years on, I say this, and this is one of my media hooks, actually. I say I couldn't stop the money coming into my checking account if I tried.
Right.
That's a pretty good media hook.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And then you got a ding every time on your computer.
Yeah, ka-ching, ka-ching. Yeah. But then, you can't just do an outrageous hook like that without backing it up. So when I explain how it works, they're like, wow, So... the recurring income allows me to, if I get sick or if I was in a hunting accident last year, almost died, and my money was coming in. See, and I know when I had to take 3 months off to take care of my mother before she passed, and I came back with more money than when I left. I guess I was holding myself back, maybe. So yeah.
A lot of businesses are like ours, you get top line revenue. And if you can keep that top line revenue by not spending it because you've got that recurring revenue that comes again and again and again, you really are ahead of the game.
That's for sure. So tell them, now you got a deadline coming up. If they're listening to this when it releases, they only have maybe 8-10 days to get in there.
January 31st is the deadline for our 36th annual Yearbook of Experts, Authorities, and Spokespersons. Being in the book gets you a whole year of everything we have. Okay. Gets you the news release wire, gets you the blog syndication, makes all the parts happen for you.
So if they listen to this after that, which these things have a long life, they can still join. They just wouldn't be in the printed version. They'd still get all the other benefits.
They wouldn't be in that particular book. They'd be down the road. It might take a year for them to get into the next book.
Right. Tell them where to go and what to do. Be nice about it.
Well,
I've told some people where to go and what to do, but I don't think it should be on this podcast.
First, you want people to go and experience what it's about.
Okay.
You go to the ExpertClick website and pull it down at the bottom where it says, what's your topic? Money, sex, or death. And you'll see it. And when you click on that button, it'll see all the primary topics of people who are in the system. So you want to be able to choose as many of those primary topics as you can, so you cross-index and connect with other experts. Because the whole part of the system is connecting with other people so their links and benefit you. Mm-hmm. So you want to have something that's connected to these people so that somebody else sends a news release about podcasting. Well, it's going to link to your favorite topics and going to link back to you.
Right.
Topics are your connections for people.
So you're kind of in a giant network of people.
Yeah, you're in a network of people because you benefit from everybody in the system, and the people with higher level listings benefit more because they're shown above the people that have the lower listings.
Got it.
But the website is expertclick.com.
Expertclick.com.
Or go to newsclick.com. You can join there too. Newsclick.com or expertclick.com. Click on the join button. It'll show you the options. It'll show you the different benefit levels. And when you click to join, there's a special offer box down there at the bottom. And after you fill out your participant and your subscriber information and your credit card, will ask you, do you have a special offer? The special offer is Tom Ante on, save 15%. So awesome. I got to just put Tom Ante on in there, and we know to give you 15% off. And because it's a subscription, that 15% off is guaranteed for life. We'll never raise your rate. And I have people who've been with me 20 years, and they still have that 20-year-old rate.
Wow.
So we're
That's a
able to
good
keep
deal.
that going for people. Yeah.
And it's, I mean, it really, once you set it up, if you're not actively doing press releases, you're still automatically sending out through your RSS feed every time you do something else. So it can be set it and forget it, or you can be more active. You can choose whichever way you want to work it.
The people that are active get value because they see their page views.
Mm-hmm.
And from different headlines and different stuff they're doing, they can see what gets traction. Because some releases might get 2,000 page views, but some releases might get 200 based on what people are searching on.
Well, and that knowledge can be taken outside of your system to the other things that they do.
Oh, yeah. And there's
YouTube videos and Facebook postings.
And there's people that do evergreen stuff where they find things that work and just keep doing those top topics because they're there. And there are also people that do newsjacking where they know stuff is in the news. So they've put out a news release right away on those same topics. So they get found at Google News because Google News is looking for them. More people are using Google Alerts.
Yep.
You should make sure people know about Google Alerts.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We talked about it a couple episodes ago because I got my buddy and one of my students, and I'm one of his students in martial arts. He's an active shooter expert. So he's on Google Alerts, and as soon as an active shooter happens somewhere, which unfortunately is more often than it should be, he gets notice, and then he calls up the media in that, puts out a press release, and then calls up the media directly. Hey, I'm an expert, and is doing, I think he did 90 things in the last couple months,
Unfortunately, he gets value out of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a sad thing, but somebody's got to do it, and he's saving lives by teaching people. So, So, all right. Well, Mitch, thanks so much for bringing us up to date on this. So everybody get over there to expertclick.com or newsclick.com, right?
You got it, buddy.
Yeah, newsclick.com, and get in there and put my name in there for a 15% discount. And then, and if they have any questions, how they get in touch with you?
Well, there's a phone number all over the site, and I've got a very basic phone number, 202-333-5000.
Beautiful.
It's easy to remember. We know that customer support's the most important thing we can do. Also, it's support@expertclick.com. So we make sure you can get email. There's actually a chat box on our website. So if somebody's here online, hit that chat box and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
That sounds good to me.
That chat box is a big deal. People should have more of those.
Absolutely, yeah. And we even have a thing called SpeakPipe where they can leave me a voicemail right through the computer. So I get an email and I click on it and I can listen to what they said right into my website. So that's speakpipe.com.
You can also get it transcribed. Our system will transcribe the message and text it to me.
Nice.
So I learn right away what's going on, so we can help people, because that's the whole key to the system. It's not just do it yourself. It's a lot of stuff is do it yourself or automated. We made NewsClick so easy it's do it yourself. But people have questions, or people want to. I call people up and say, why don't you have these 5 topics? Or why don't you do a news release on this topic, because we know it's big. I like having a personal relationship because that's what makes it work.
That's for sure. All right, everybody. So this has been my buddy Mitch Davis on here with expertclick.com and newsclick.com. And jump right on this, because you can get into the big catalog, and then you'll be, you can get results very quickly with this system too. So get over there and sign up for it, and we'll catch everybody on the next episode. See you later. I'll leave that in, along with the dog barking.
Along with the dog barking.